And have you guess who is this amazing leader? He was born in South Carolina. He was the 16th of 17 kids. If you can believe that.
That's amazing.
You might think he was forgotten about. He lettered in 5 sports at his high school. He played football for 4 years at South Carolina University. He received a Bachelor of Science degree in special ed. He married his lovely wife Frances. Smartest thing he ever did, right? They have 2 children, 5 grandchildren. Certified training in community intervention. Certified Moorhead High School medicine and drug abuse. He taught special education for several years and all these sports coaching. And gives life to the Lord. He founded Outreach to America's Youth Incorporated. You can Google that. He inducted to the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. He wrote books. These are great books, by the way. You might want to look those up. And speaker for all sorts of groups, churches, prisons, retreats, camps. And today, your character GPS keynote speaker, give a hand to our very own R.B. Brown.
Yay!
Okay.
Amen.
Amen.
Now I talk real loud. We're close. We don't need a mic.
Oh, no, we don't need a mic. No mic needed.
And I talk real fast. Because when you got 17 brothers and sisters, you didn't talk loud and talk fast, you didn't get no food or clothes or nothing else. But I enjoyed my childhood. My childhood was awesome. It's like living at Walt Disney World. There was always something going on. Take off my shoe. Mama, I told her I was going to wear that shirt. Mama, I ironed that. It was always something going on. There was always some joy. And the greatest thing about my childhood, that mom and dad always hugged and kissed on us. When I took my wife home, this is my wife, stand-up wife, I can tell her what to do.
Frances.
46 years.
Yay, Frances.
46 years. When I took my wife home to meet my family the first time, and my sisters kissed me on the lips to rub my head. She said, why they gotta be kissing? Why they gotta hug me? And I said, well, I'm their child. When you got a sister or a brother that's 34 years older than you, they raised you. You're their child. I got to call my older sister and tell her when I leave home, if I'm going to Columbia or going somewhere, I'm in Columbia, South Carolina now, I leave, come back, I made it back home. I'm 86 years old, I'm 70 years old, and I still got to check in with my sisters. Amen?
Wow.
Well, what that means is that's family, and that's love. That's what it's all about. That's what I want to talk about, Dave. You put on the screen right there, you have to develop a case for success. See, they told me because I had all the brothers and sisters and I lived in a house where you couldn't see the chickens up under the floorboard, lived in a house out in the country. They said, you never in my bathroom outside the field. We had to pump water in the house. They said, you're a poor kid. You'll never be successful. You'll never make it, Brown. And I tell you what, every time somebody told me what I couldn't do, I had a mama tell me every day, rub my little round head and say, boy, you something special. Had a daddy tell me, boy, one day if you just stay in school, it's going to pay off. So I want to talk about developing a taste. See, I had a taste for that. Why? Because my mom and dad instilled that in me. So I want to say this to you, parents. Instill success. You set the tone, parents. You come home. You don't let them come home and say, well, I don't have no homework. Well, I got homework for you. You're going to read 3 chapters tonight. You're going to do something. You set the tone. My parents set the tone. My daddy could not read nor write. He couldn't read at. He couldn't read the. He couldn't do nothing. My mother could read around a little bit, but guess what? My daddy had a ton of wisdom. And I used to understand why my daddy can say things. How did he know those things? And I watched my daddy sit on the tree because my dad lived to be 103 years old. And people, white and black, would come to my dad. He's sitting up under the tree and then ask my daddy questions. And I never saw nobody leave angry. They gave me sweet potatoes, collard greens. That was the money. But I never saw nobody leave angry. And so when I got 11, 12 years, I realized my daddy cannot read. What does he know? How can he tell somebody something that he can't even read about? But God gave him wisdom. Wisdom, and he taught me how to be a man, taught me how to love my wife because I saw him love my mom. So I'm telling to you, mamas, y'all set the tone in the house. Amen? And the kids, come on, check them grades. Look at them report cards. Don't just sign something. Look at it, learn. Why? Because when you set the taste for success, they will get that. My dad worked as a fertilizer factory for 45 years, and he also had a farm. See, so my daddy worked. All my older brothers and sisters had a job. So I saw people going to work. I saw people doing things. And because they had it, they did it, I wanted things. I said, when I got 12 years old, they said, they brought me a $25 lawnmower and a 50-cent rake. And said, boy, look at all that money. It's just laying around. So I'm 12 years old. I don't understand. So I'm looking for the money. They said it's called grass. cut the grass and went to get some money. And they cut me off at 12 years old. And I started working at the age of 12. So work is not fun, strange for me. I enjoy working. And when I got in school, my normal parents couldn't afford me to go to college. So I played football, basketball, track, wrestling, and soccer. I was a 5-sport level. I didn't have time for no knucklehead girls. I didn't have time for no drugs. Why? Because my mama said I'm going to college. I wanted to be successful. Why? Because I had a taste for it. And I want to talk to you just a little bit. I ain't talking much longer. Just a taste for success. Amen. Say amen.
Amen.
Every time me and Jeff do this, everything I put on my plate, he's already gone over. So he don't need me talking about it. Amen. Say amen.
Amen.
But see, in order for success to start, you have to have a change. You have to change your mind about who you are. You know, when I went to school with my older brother's clothes on, when I went to school with cardboard in my shoe, I had a mindset that one day I'm gonna have to shoe. Look at me today. Do I look good?
Yeah, nice suit.
I got a $1,000 suit. Don't touch it and fall and it hurts you. See, everything I dreamed as a little poor child, I have it today. Not because somebody gave it to me, because I earned it. So I want to tell y'all something, man. All you got to do is work hard. Some good things going to come your way. Jeff, you're supposed to give him a book, Jeff.
Oh, Jeff.
Books and give him a book. See, he's already fired. Amen. But now, I got a couple more minutes and then I'm going to get done. See, it said, have a taste for victory. And you got to change the way you look at me, young people. Look at me. Look at me. Don't worry about you. You know your parents, but look at me. I'm the biggest thing you've seen all day. Look at me. I'm the best looking guy you've seen all day, girl. Look at me. See, look at me. What you got to do is you got to start looking at it. As Jeff said, you got to have a vision. You got to have a vision for change. I had a vision. When I did my homework, y'all don't know what a kerosene lamp is. You ever been to Home Depot? I'm at Home Depot out of Cracker Barrel, and you see them lamps where you turn the kerosene lamp up? That's what I did my homework with. We didn't have lights in the house. We had kerosene lamp. But every time I turn that kerosene lamp, it started, a blaze got up. Every time I turn, there's some kind of thing called a fire inside me. Say, you don't have to live like this all your life if you just get a good education. You don't have to live like this all your life if you just believe in yourself, RV. Just keep going. Don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. And here's my motto. This is my motto, moms and daddies. The will to win means nothing without the will to prepare. Since 1971, that's what made my motto. The will to win means nothing without the will to prepare. So how you prepare your children? Loving, hugging, and kissing on them. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with hugging and kissing your kid. Mama, you're the kid, let them kiss you. Because they ain't going to be with you always, guys. My mom and daddy going on home to be with the Lord. They ain't going to be with you always. So hug them and kiss them. And then mom and daddy, you hug them and kiss them. Daddy, you hug them. Hug your kids. My Bible says if you hug your kids, you won't be discouraged. Hug them and kiss on them all the time. Amen?
Amen.
And let them kiss you too, parent kids. Say amen.
Amen.
All right. Step one, change your attitude about success. See, we got to have a change attitude. Well, you know, ain't nobody in my family never did it, ain't everybody did it. No, but say, if everybody didn't do, you do it. You be the first one to step out and say, you know what, ain't nothing going to change me. Ain't nobody going to stop me. I have a dream. Now, let me tell you about a dream. See, you can dream, but nobody can see your dream but you. The only thing they can see about your dream is what you do with the dream. See, dream, I have a dream that I want to play professional football. Every college football player want to play. There's 7,000 seniors come out every year. There's only 1,878 professional football players. 1,878. 32 teams, you multiply 32 times 68 and see what you get. You don't get very many. So your chances are slim and none. So everybody ain't gonna make it. So I played a couple years of semi-pro ball like that, around arena football, and then I started coaching. But in the back of my mind, I said, you know what? Since I didn't make it to the pros, I'm coaching the pros. So guess what? Guess what? I prayed about it, and it happened. I had a job offer at the Atlanta Falcons to be come in as a GA, as an assistant, and work your way up the ladder. And guess what happened, man? Guess what happened? Guess what happened? That disappointment. Guess what happened? They fired the guy that was going to hire me the day before I signed the contract. The night before I went to Swanee, Georgia, they fired the guy. So I go on over there anyway. The guy said, we can't give you a job because next year they fire everybody else. So I come out of 81, 85, down 75, going back to Chattanooga, Tennessee, where I lived at the time. And God said, resign from your job. I resigned from my job. And look at me now. 38 years later, I've been in 48 states and 47 countries preaching all the way around the world. Because I connect myself with Billy Graham, Fellowship of Christian Life, Young Life, Campus Crusade. I've been all around the world. I used to travel so much. I called her downstairs at the hotel and said, "Now, this is going to sound real stupid, man. Can you tell me where I am?" So many different time zones. But you know what? Look at me. All you got to do is dream. And look at me. He told you about a vision. Look at me, sixth grader. Set your goal that in 6 years, what is this year, 2003, in 2029 or 2030, I'm walking up out of high school. I'm on my way to junior college or 4 years school. You go in the college. Tell yourself, I am going to college. And don't let nobody tell you you're not. I am going to college. Y'all saw Tim Tebow running down there? Yeah. You see this ring on my finger? That's Tim Tebow's ring. I was Tim Tebow pastor when he was in college in Florida. That's what right here. Look right. See that? See that gate on the side of there? This is a national championship game. We beat Ohio State. If y'all from Ohio, we rip y'all. They say, oh, hey, you know what Ohio State said? Let me tell you something about this. My second point. Let me say, then I get to that. You have to develop a love for success. Look around you. Look at people that look around you. Well, look right there. Where you from,
I'm from South Carolina too.
Yeah, I told her, I think she's from South Carolina.
You thought that, yeah.
She's from Orangeburg, that's why I went to college.
Wow.
In Orangeburg. You didn't go to South Carolina State, did you?
I did.
What year was there?
1985.
Oh, you just a kid then. I've been going 13 years when she got there. Praise God. But you see what I'm saying? That's another bulldog. What I'm saying, look, mama, you look around you. And let me tell you something, don't allow your kid not to participate in some kind of athletic. Athletics is going to keep them in being a part of a team. You can't work on a job if you don't learn how to be a part of a team. You got to learn how to be a part of the team. So you get somebody, you get a coach, you let them play volleyball, basketball, soccer, track, wrestling, golf, whatever they play, but put them on some kind of team. Okay? Say amen.
Amen.
Number 3, I ain't got me anymore. Step 3, you have to develop a can-do attitude that I can and I will, and change your attitude about education. Look at me. It ain't easy. If it was easy to be a doctor like her, everybody'd be more. When I finished South Carolina State College, I said, that's it for me going to school. Ain't no more school in me. I am done. Whoa! When I got my degree from science, I unbuttoned my jacket, I took off running across the stage, and I did like Batman. I flew off the stage. Woo! I landed on the ground, and my mama said, boy, you embarrassed me. I stood before my mom and dad. I said, Mom and Daddy, you graduated from college for the 5th time. I gave the degree to them because they deserved it. Why? Because they spend all that time nurturing me, nurture your children. Make sure they do homework. Focus, check on them. And sometime to come to school, check on your child. See, my mama didn't play. My first semester in college, 1.09. 1.09.
Wow.
And my mama said, if this don't change, wherever I find you on that camera, y'all gonna get a hold of your rear end. Guess what I did? In 4 years, I got married. In 4 years, I graduated from college. In 4 years, with a 3.88, with almost a straight A. I was smart. I was scared of my 5'2" mama. So what I'm trying to say is, family is so important. Family is so important. Do you ever know what the word family stands for? Watch that. Family stands for father, acknowledges the mother, influence the life of the young.
Like that.
Father acknowledges the mother, influences the life of the young. See, so you say, I'm a single mom. Then stay on your knees then. Stay on your knees. Get in touch with God. That's a man, marry him. Amen? All right, I'll stop there. I ain't gonna preach that. And then number 4, I ain't got myself. Number 4 is, you gotta develop a love for self. See that mirror right down? See that big mirror? Everybody look at that big mirror right there. See, look at me. Look at me, students. From now on, every time you get up in the morning, I want you to get in front of that mirror and look at it and say, man, I look good. God created something beautiful. Something special. That's what I do every morning. I get in the mirror and say, Harvey, look at you, boy. You're 70 years old, look at you. Do it, boy, yeah. You're all right today. Might be sick tomorrow, but I'm all right today. Yeah. Amen? So look at me, young people. Love yourself. Now, I just put a book in your hand. There's a little red thing in there. Pull it out. Pull that red slip out. Pull that red slip out. On that red slip is the word you. You got to develop. You got to go to school. You got to read. You got to spell. And parents this summer, you make sure your kid read at least 3 books this summer. Read, and then read some more. Read. Read and take you places. I love to read. Most guys don't like to read. That's why that book you got in your hand, Dad, it got pictures in it. Because you give a guy a book with no picture, he ain't reading it. So I wrote the book up just like, because what I want to see all them pictures in there. So every other page there's pictures on it. Say amen.
Amen.
Number 5, quickly, number 5. Success calls for, watch this now. Can you see now? That's what happens when you get old. Success calls for attention in the classroom, and I just said in this summer having to read, and read some more. Number 6, ain't got but 2 more. Step 6, you have to have a willing to develop and to change the way you think about education and success. Discipline yourself. Look at me, young people. Discipline yourself. Discipline yourself. All that character stuff, y'all got to read over something else, over and over until it becomes a part of your life. See, what I do, I talk to people all over. I just spoke to a men's breakfast this morning. Last weekend, I was in Fayetteville, Georgia. I spoke twice Saturday to the men, Sunday morning 9 and Saturday, Sunday morning 9 and 11 o'clock. Came home 2 days, drove to Stewart, Florida. Last Thursday morning, spoke to a group of men for breakfast. And football players, talked to football players at 3 o'clock. And then at 6:30 that night, I spoke at a backyard service. And then I drove home tired. That's what I do. That's what I love to do. I have to write down a speech. I am the speech. I am the speech. I dream. And I close with this, I dream. What's the first letter of the word dream? D. Disciple. Disciple means what? Have somebody you can follow. And you be the parent. You sit down and examine. You tell a child, discipline yourself. Read this book. And then when you read the book too, why? Because they can't lie to you because you know what the book says. Now if you give a kid a book to read and he start talking about it, you don't know what he's saying. So you read the book first and then you give it to him. So now you say something, I say, Now on page 22 it said this. Why you didn't read page 22? Well, Dad, I skipped. No, you can't skip and go back and read the whole book. Then where I get that from? My mom. See, when you're in the country, you don't have no grass. We have a dirt yard. And my mama has some hedge bushes tied wired together. So you're supposed to sweep the whole yard. So what I call myself doing, people only walk in paths, right? People don't walk all the way, they walk down this path and turn and go out the driveway. So I figure, okay, all I'm gonna do is sweep all the footprints up. So in the whole yard look like I did it. I didn't know that little 5'2" woman was looking at the mirror, at the window. So about 9 o'clock, she said, young man, did you sweep the yard like what? Yes, ma'am, I did. And after she popped me a couple of times, she said, now get out there and do what I told you. So I had to go out in the dark and sweep the whole yard. So what I'm saying is, parents, challenge your child to complete the task. You don't want to be incomplete. Be successful. Complete the task. What's the next letter of the word dream?
R.
What is it?
R.
Respect yourself. Look at me. If you don't respect yourself, nobody else will. See, I walk around proud. I'm a peacock. Y'all know what a peacock do? A peacock spread his little tail and he look beautiful. Now he spread that tail and he shivered like this. What? It scares enemies off. I tell you what, you put that cap and gown on, you get that degree on, you scare a whole lot of people. You scare a whole lot of people. See, I can speak good now. Y'all can understand me now. See, I'm from the country. Casey, South Carolina, the country. When I date my wife, I write my wife a love letter. She correct me, send it back.
That's so funny.
What you trying to say here, brother? What is this, brother? So I said, shoot, I ain't stupid. I'm married. That's why we got married. My son, this woman can help me because she know how to type and she know how to spell. She know how to write. I needed that. So God gave me what I need right there. See? And I told her when I married, I got a Social Security card and said, you know what? I got your Social Security card. No matter if you leave me, I'll fight you because you can't change this number. You change that number from me. You can't change. You stuck with me until doomsday. Say amen.
Amen.
What's the next letter of the word dream?
E.
Effort. Look at me. Here we go now. We're closing up. The effort that you put out in that classroom, the effort that you put out, parent, to make sure he's doing his homework. Find out what day them grades supposed to come home, and you get them. Well, you know, Mama, I forgot to pick it up. No, and you're going back to school with me, and we're going to pick it up. See what I'm saying? No excuses. I don't accept excuses. There's no excuse. There's no excuse for you making A's and B's in school. At this age, you ain't got no job, so you ain't got no excuse not making A's and B's. Amen?
Amen.
Amen?
Amen.
All right. What's the next letter of the word dream?
A.
What is it?
A.
A. Accept yourself. Just as God created you something special. You're something special. What did Jeff say? God created something what? What did Jeff tell y'all about God created what? Tell them, Jeff, what did you say about God created?
That we're
You were
priceless?
something what?
Priceless.
Priceless. Priceless. You're a jewel. You're priceless. And you gotta think like that. My brain, look at me. My brain is priceless.
Yeah.
People don't pay me for what I know. They pay me for what I say and what I do. So my brain is engaged all the time. What's the next letter?
M.
Watch that. Don't make mistakes. Don't miss class. All right? Why? Because when you miss class, you miss out on the greatest thing in life. And in closing, watch this. Watch this. Let me read this to you, then I shut up. Because Chef done got up. He time to tell me to be quiet. God has blessed you with a great brain. Now claim it, believe it, speak it, now live it out. You are something special in God's eyes. May God bless you. Thank you.
Beautiful.
All right.
Thank you.